This is problem number 10 from section 6.1. It says state the amplitude, period, midline, and an equation involving cosine for the following graph. Okay, so here is this graph, and I went ahead and sketched in the midline, okay, which is directly in the middle of the curve. Okay, if you were unsure where it is, just average the max and the min. Okay, so we can go ahead and write that the midline has equation y equals -1. Okay, next we can find the amplitude, which is the number of spaces from the midline to the max, or the midline to the min. And in this case, it's 2 spaces, so the amplitude is 2. Okay, we also want to find the period. So we just want to look at how many radians are in one cycle of the graph. So you can look from one max to another, or one min to the next min. And so I'll look at these, and we're just going to try to find how many spaces are between them. And so this tick mark is that it's 1 1/3. Or 4/3. And then this next location is 3 1/3. Okay, and so if you just subtract them, we see that there's 2 spaces between them. And so the period is just 2. Okay, this will also help us determine B in our equation. And so B is going to be found by taking 2 pi divided by the period, or 2 pi over 2, which is pi. Hey, it also says use a phase shift. We're going to use cosine and use a phase shift between 0 and 2 pi. And so we'll use this first maximum of 4/3, or 1 1/3. And once you have all of that information, we're going to write the formula in the form y equals a cosine b x minus c over b plus d. Okay, and I'm using this factored form because c over b is the phase shift, and we know the phase shift is 4/3. Okay, so A is 2 cosine of B, which was pi, x minus c over b, or the phase shift, which is 4/3, and then plus d, the midline. In this case, it's a -1. And lastly, distribute the pi to each of those terms inside the parentheses, and we get 2 cosine of pi x minus 4 pi over 3, or 4/3 pi, minus 1.